Hey everybody, welcome to the Fancy Werewolf Lounge. But I don't have anything today. So, hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Josh Pfizer.
I'm Liberty Bell.
Hello, me. What up?
Hello, as punctual as ever.
That's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What show starts on time?
See, this is what I hate about the comedian mindset. Is this like every show starts 45 minutes after the actual time.
Not the good ones.
Not the good, not the ones
45.
Liberty does.
Just mine. Just mine.
Not yours. Okay, but yeah, and quick go around of what we're drinking. I am drinking today a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Okay, nice. I am going to try. Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to drink this whole pint
Do
of
or do not.
Jameson during this podcast.
And let me guess, Aloe, you're on your aloe lean again? Aloe?
Another
He's
peanut butter
frozen.
jelly.
Not here. Oh, okay. All right.
Peanut butter. Yeah.
All right. And we have today's guest is Meghan Roth. Meghan, how you doing?
Oh, hi, I didn't notice you there.
What you need is a big ass book that you're reading, and just like, and you're like, oh, I didn't notice you. That's probably the
Should I run and grab my Hyrule Historia?
Yeah, that's probably the best introduction we've ever had for a guest.
Except for maybe Josh France when he just introduced himself in the middle of the original introduction.
Oh yeah, Josh Francis. Luckily, he never interrupted ever again.
Miss him though. Miss him. Cheers to Josh.
Yeah, he's great. We'll get back to him. Did he move already, or I guess we'll check in on him at some point.
Sure.
But Meghan, we all know you, we here know you from comedy, and you do animation. We do ask our guests a few questions before starting. One, what have you been doing to stay mentally, physically, and emotionally sound during the whole pandemic?
I've been actually doing a terrible job of staying mentally and emotionally sound. I picked up an abusive boyfriend for a while, and I'm still dealing with the fallout from that. So, yeah, I just can't be normal.
There's that. We're sorry to hear that. But I believe the least normal thing about you is that metal straw you just whipped out there. I probably shouldn't have said whipped out there for people who are just listening to this and not like watching this on YouTube. But have you been watching anything?
Let their minds wander.
It's okay, guys. I was born with a metal straw. It's okay.
Do you have you been watching stuff like what's your media? Have you been binging?
Well, I watched that Dustin Roiland one, Solar Opposites. I've really been enjoying that.
Yeah, really good one.
I started Steven Universe, and I love Steven Universe.
Oh yeah, so you just started. You have.
Yep, I'm always late to the party.
I watched that a few years ago. I haven't like caught back up on it. I hear like it's gone in some like really interesting directions. But all right, cool. And well, we all, like I said, we all know you from comedy and animations. Is there any other projects you got going on, or are you just kind of?
Well, I'm hoping to start up animations again next week when I got like super close to the camera. I'm hoping to start. Thank you. I'm starting up animations again next week, hopefully, when I am done with my job, because I'm in between jobs as of Friday and I have nothing lined up. So have some free time.
Okay, might as well work on it while you have the free time. I gotta say, like, I believe it was one of the last times I saw you. I learned about you doing animations, and The one you showed the night I was at the open mic was like fucking hilarious. It was insane. Like, god damn, dude. Actually, we got a clip that we can show right now of probably one of the best comedy things I've ever seen.
Love it.
Yeah, so here we go with that.
Mr. Cheese Bagels, how can I help you?
Yes, I'll take one cheese bagel, please.
What?
How dare you!
What?
I am Mr. Cheesebagel, and I would really love to be enlightened as to why you came into my business and put in such a disgraceful request. I don't come to your house and ask to eat your children. I would appreciate
This mouth just getting smaller.
basic respect in return.
I just thought because the place was called Mr. Cheese Bagels.
Why, yes, it is, because I, Mr. Cheesebagel, built this business from the ground up.
And we'll come back to it at the end, but that's Meghan Roth on YouTube. You can find all her other animations. They're all really good and bizarre.
They've all got some dude's name on them though.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But how
Should I wait to make transgender jokes until
no,
further
absolutely.
into the
Go
drinks?
ahead.
Whenever you're ready.
Do it. But
It's your life.
yeah, let me ask you how you got into comedy and when you wanted to start doing like animation.
Well, I've always wanted to do comedy and animation. That's actually part of the reason I didn't really do much with my life, because we're in the middle of buttfuck Iowa. So, we're in a college town in buttfuck Iowa, but we're in buttfuck Iowa.
We're in one of the funner parts of buttfuck Iowa.
Yeah, we're in one of the funner parts of buttfuck Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Is there a smelly part of buttfuck Iowa?
I believe that's southern Iowa.
Depends
Yeah.
on whose butt you're fucking.
Dude, you can't say any. You live in Cedar Rapids. That place.
Yeah, it
stinks.
is. No, he doesn't. He's North Liberty, first of all.
Johnson County, not Lynn County. Get it
So
right.
get it together. But
It's 20 miles away.
yeah, obviously.
You know, 20
everybody
miles
knows.
is nothing in Iowa.
I bet he
Yeah, I
can
know.
smell it some days. Let's just put it that way. We
This-
cannot, and I bet can. So
You gotta go up there and
there's
smell
that.
This whole podcast should be y'all arguing about which city in Iowa who lives in and how close it is to
How close
slightly
it is to
less
the world's
obscure city.
smelliest place, Quaker Oats Company.
Yeah. Oh god.
Okay, that's not the world's smelliest place, but
Well, yeah. But yeah, like, when did you? What was your? I'm trying to think of whether or not I was around when you first did comedy.
You were. I did. There was this. It was when that Joshua Fierstein did It was the Starbucks cups. I think the Starbucks cups were just red, and it caused a huge uproar among the like.
oh yeah, I remember when they did that.
bullshit,
but I
right?
wasn't doing comedy then.
I don't say Christian community because I have a lot of Christian friends, and they don't act the way I see a lot of the loud people acting.
Right. But so I think I remember that because you did that joke, right? A joke about that.
Mm-hmm. I forget what it was. Really stupid, I'm sure.
Which mic was that? Octopus or was that Library?
That was Octopus.
Okay. All right. Cool. But yeah,
when Liberty had a show, the Octopus, and then the that show Liberty had. Those were my two favorites to do.
What was?
What about when we went when we went to St. Joseph, Missouri?
Oh, what about this? Sounds like a story.
Wait,
that was fun. That was fun when I was with Liberty and Andy Hartley and nobody else.
Okay, I just have a question about this. Refresh my memory. Were you with us or not when we went to that person's house?
I think so.
Wait, what's this?
Okay. Went to a certain person's aunt's house.
Okay. All right.
To smoke marijuana in St. Joseph, Missouri. And
I didn't.
like,
I was driving.
Yeah, you were driving. But were you with us? You were with us.
I was.
That was like honestly one of the most awkward moments of my entire life. To say hands down. Like we get there and they're just like passing us joints or blunts, and they're like literally a toddler and an infant passed out on the living room floor, and the house is like filled with smoke. And then there's 2 dogs also passed out on the living room floor. And I remember at one point, like, Andy was in the bathroom because there was only one working outlet to charge his phone, and he was like,
What the fuck?
Remember when Andy disappeared?
Andy was trying to get a Tinder hookup. Let's be honest. Sorry, Andy, I'm calling you out. He was charging his phone to try and get a
Andy
Tinder
on soon
hookup.
to defend himself.
And
Now
went
ask
into the
Andy if he ever got
bathroom.
that hookup.
He probably did. Let's be honest. But what up?
It wasn't
Look
with me.
at
I'm a
him.
lesbian.
Of course he did.
Okay. I went into the bathroom because I was freaking the fuck out, and I was like, Andy, I'm going to go in there. I'm taking the 2 kids and the 2 dogs, and we have to leave. And he was like, you can't do that. They're going to kill you. And it was terrible. But
Wow.
I wasn't alone. So
Wow.
fine.
I remember a lot of
It's Missouri.
arguing.
It's Missouri.
I remember
Yeah.
arguing a lot with this person that may or may not exist about trans people.
Well, he is very ignorant, and his family's from Missouri, so that says a lot.
Have we? Okay,
I
just
feel
so I
like
know,
more
because I have
people in
suspicions.
Missouri
Have we
than
mentioned?
Branch
Have you
Hill,
mentioned
which is,
him
like,
on this
saying a lot.
podcast before?
You know who it is, Josh.
Okay, I know who it is now. Okay, I was
Yeah,
pretty
it's,
sure. I just didn't know. But anyway,
Everybody knows who it is. It's
Okay.
Voldemort. I mean, no. I mean,
Josh, I don't know if you know, but this person smokes weed.
okay.
He smokes weed, Josh.
I don't know of anybody who was closely connected to Liberty who smoked copious amounts of weed.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
I know, I
smoked
get it.
weed.
Yeah,
you mean
I
smoked my weed. All of it. All the time.
That's what's
And that
up.
was all he did. He never.
That's what's up.
That was literally it. That was it. That's all he did. Okay, weed.
I remember
And give me the occasional dick, okay?
I remember my friend
Occasional.
my friend and I were going to Batman vs Superman, and he wanted to come with us. And he was like all secretive about it. He's like, don't tell anybody I went with you guys because I don't use people to know I went without them. And then we get there, and the whole time we're in the theater, he's like, I'm so high right now, like really loud in public. I'm so
my
fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
Moving on.
I get. Look at this.
I just reminisce about that trip to St. Joe because we did the VFW show or whatever it was, and you played your guitar for everyone and did a.
And I ate all of your Casey's pizza because I was fucking fat.
Oh my god, that's inaccurate. But whatever. Ate all the pizza. I'm sure I was there with you eating it too. I don't know.
No, I ate all of the pizza, and the next morning you were like, I was gonna eat that for breakfast.
I don't remember anything about that.
Okay,
It never happened.
What's worse, eating a whole hot pizza by yourself, or wanting to save?
There's
pizza
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with eating a whole hot
Whole
pizza.
pizza
by
is
yourself.
good. It's
No,
Casey's
exactly,
pizza.
exactly. That's the not fucked up part.
What's fucked up? Saving breakfast pizza for breakfast?
Was it that you didn't say breakfast pizza?
I mean,
Yeah, it was breakfast pizza. It was Casey's. I don't.
It was Casey's. It was breakfast pizza, vegetarian. That's how
Okay.
I roll.
All right.
So Josh, stand corrected.
Yeah.
That's the fuck fact.
It's like she had like solid platinum, and my fat ass ate it all.
Well, okay. Let's do a little side by side here. Why was I mad? Because I'm actually the fat bitch, and I apologize. I'm sorry. I was mad. You ate the breakfast pizza that I was drunkenly trying to save for breakfast.
At least when you're fat, you don't look like Ron to me.
Oh, I
Oh.
didn't drink to that. I don't know what I look like.
One time, my ex-boyfriend goes, "Fuck you, you fat pig," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you for reminding me. I'm much thinner than I used to be."
Nice.
I thought that today too. I was like, oh, it's Father's Day. You know, what should I get my dad for a gift? Maybe I should get skinny because that's all he's wanted my entire life.
Fuck him.
Wow.
You're beautiful, Liberty.
No,
You're
I'm
beautiful.
just kidding. My dad does love me, but
Yes. You guys are living together.
he cares about my health. He cares about my health. He wants me to live long. And right now, I'm probably going to die. Al and I just talked about this.
Wait, what?
That's why
We're
I lost
about-
the weight.
We're fat and we're
I
going to
said
die.
you or everyone.
You said you were, but now I'm saying I also am probably going to die because I'm fat. It's okay. I love myself, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That's the most
Yes,
important thing.
I feel like
really, I do. Like, I don't give a shit.
I feel like people are typically like genetically gifted. Like I feel like they never age. I feel like they very rarely have health problems. The problem for Black people is that they have to be Black in America.
Mhm. Yep, that's
What about sickle
I don't know
cell,
about that.
diabetes, high blood
Yeah.
pressure?
yeah.
Those run
Yeah.
amok, and we live less long lives. I think we just don't crack, as they say.
Yeah, that's
So it seems like we live longer.
reparations. And
I mean,
it's
look
all
at
done.
me.
Justice in America,
You
everybody.
guys see this shit? I'm fucking not even 30. I told my friend I got all these wrinkles in the last year because of her.
I will say that a lot of people think I'm 10 years younger than I actually am. So there's
Fuck you,
that.
Josh.
Well, yeah, you kind of look like you just got out of bed and you're not going to make it to your school class today.
With that beard.
Well, we'll say I'm a sophomore. I'm like, it's my second year of college, and I got really crunchy and stonery. So
No. I'm saying you're a high school kid. I'm not saying like you're going to be late to high. You're going to go to a high school the way like say Chris D'Elia would go to a high school.
thank you for the transition. Thank you for the transition, because that's something.
Oh,
that,
you're very welcome. I'm
you.
pretty good at transitions.
oh, I didn't even think about that before. Cheers. But since you brought it up, just some shit going on just this past week in the comedy world. First off, the thing that's really getting traction is several women came forward saying that comedian Chris D'Elia,
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Pedophile D'Elia.
Chris D'Elia.
Chris D'Elia.
After he saw those tweets, Chris there have been several women who have come forward saying that he, like, most of the accusations have been he's like in, the lexicon, got up in the DMs to underage girls and tried to, like, it's weird because the terminology is grooming, but he tried to get with these girls, or tried to I don't know. I have an article. I'll read from the article instead.
I have some evidence that Chris D'Elia is a pedophile. It's called "Look at this fucking face."
Well, and like the thing is, like, Chris D'Elia is he's one of those guys who his personality is that he's a douchebag. and I definitely think like he tries to play that up in a lot of the stuff he does. It's kind of a Kevin Spacey situation. Was like, oh, this guy who's usually plays an asshole turned out to be a real asshole.
Well, like, I guess it's weird for me because I have people that I work with quite frequently in Los Angeles and Chicago and stuff that are like coming to his defense and being like, that are women also. Oh, he's not like that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
What, do you think you're the only woman he's ever interacted with?
Yeah, maybe
Also,
he's not like that around you.
You're an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Men are fucking scary. It's scary to be a woman.
It is sometimes.
Trust me, I know the difference. Kind of. I wasn't really good at being a man.
You don't have to be good at everything, Megan. You're good at many other things. Like, it's almost like you weren't supposed to be a man or something. What the fuck?
I have to ask, do you still have the hat?
Yes, I do. It's somewhere. I don't know.
What hat are you talking about?
Hold on, I'll pull up. I did
Yeah.
take a picture and I'll pull it up.
You know what hat? He's the hat she always wore back then.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So there's that. I don't
Why would you
There's
bring
that.
hat up?
I don't know
Like,
why I
what-
mentioned the hat. It's just like,
Hat, mic drop.
Are you like, can I get that hat, Meg?
well, it's just
Yo, where's that hat?
it was kind of your signature back then when you were doing stand up.
Yeah, because I was
like-
balding.
So
I just want to say like something about like all of it, like as far as my experience, like as a woman in comedy, for the vast majority of like my experience, I've had mainly good experiences, but I have had horrible experiences, and I think that it's accurate that men are gatekeepers in comedy, and I think that Chris, took advantage of young women that were fans of comedy and shit like that. It's fucked up. I've had shitty things happen to me. So many women I know have been sexually assaulted in comedy and harassed, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it just makes it a lot harder for us to want to stick around and keep doing it. So knock it off, Fuck you guys. We deserve just as much opportunity as men, and I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah, that
should be believed too.
Yes, it's one of the main reasons. Like people will go on, when people bring up the issue of the lack of women in comedy, and then you hear all these stories from women who have been in comedy. Even if
I didn't have thick ass skin, I would have quit.
Yeah,
I would have quit just based on the things that guys have said to me or done to me. Sheer embarrassment. For example, like I put on a lot of shows. That's kind of what I do. It's something I pride myself in. I like to do it. I like to give people space, their platform to do their thing just as much as I want to do it. And a lot of times, shows that I produce, I host. And this particular show, I hosted, and I had asked this comic to feature, and I'm on the show. After I introduced him, he came on stage and said, "Hey, give it up for Liberty. Doesn't she look like a slut in that dress?"
Jesus Christ.
Like at my own show that I specifically asked him on to feature and him for. After I introduced him, said, "Hey, give it up for Liberty. Doesn't she look slutty in that dress?" Like,
Jesus Christ.
In whose mind is that acceptable or okay? And then when I confronted him about it after the show, he told me that it was supposed to be a compliment. A fucking compliment. So,
God.
See, I feel like a lot problem with trans acceptance is that there's a huge percentage of men that think of women in terms of, like, I don't know how to phrase this, but basically sexually. And I think the reason there's a lot of discomfort trans women from men is because they're thinking of women as sexual objects, and so my existence makes them uncomfortable because they don't know how to think of women as sexual objects, if that makes sense. I don't know. I've been drinking.
No, that makes perfect sense.
It does, yeah.
That's
Hello,
not just a man thing. Like, I mean, it's just, we need to quit. And that's not just for women either.
Right.
Like, women also need to quit sexually objectifying men. Like, people aren't pieces of meat, you know.
Here's the hat,
we're
Josh.
Humans. We're fucking humans.
You know what? It looks better that
Oh,
way.
I love it.
That actually... There's the hat. That's the hat I mean. Aloe, do you have anything to add to this?
As far what's the question here?
Just like in comedy, like what goes on between male and female comedians.
Yeah, I don't know. People sometimes take shit too far, and they do it just to, have shock value. But I don't know. It's just an attempt to be funny, I would hope.
And that's the thing, like I said, that these comics that actually know Chris have said to me, like, that he's not really like that. They don't believe that he's really like that. But to me, it's like, okay, so if he's not really like that, in his right mind makes him want to go on the Joe Rogan Experience and say that shit. Like, literally openly admit.
Well, I haven't seen that. I've seen one where he's on a podcast and they're talking about Snapchat. And if you find this video, just like keep watching his face, because they're talking about something on Snap. Like, I think a teacher was sending her students dirty snaps.
Wait, I might be getting two things confused right now.
Because,
are
you thinking of Joey Diaz stuff?
Yes, I'm thinking of Joey Diaz.
Joey.
We're talking.
Like, it's
We're
the
talking
Joey.
about so many different things.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, so here's the thing. It's like Cristiello.
Just say it different every time. I love it.
Chris Dedetta, Jeffrey Ross.
He's fooled anyways at this point. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I don't know what to think about him.
Yeah, Jeffrey Ross. This hasn't been gaining a lot of traction, but someone came forward saying that that she had a sexual relationship with him when he was 33 and she was 15. And then Joey Diaz on the Joe Rogan show, a clip came up where he was talking about how he wouldn't let any women on shows he did unless they sucked his dick. So, yeah, it's been a banner year for dirty male comedians.
Well, this is really, that's the thing though. Like, it's just like nothing new to me. This is like the same kind of shit I've experienced. I've experienced men trying to grope me at open mics before. I actually had a friend punch a dude in the face who had cornered me and was trying to grope me at an open mic. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I guess, like, to me, it just all lumped together. And it's like, quit fucking sexually assaulting, harassing, and abusing women. We don't deserve it. And vice versa. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. And quit being sickos. I don't know. Like, I guess how do you say, like, if a person's a pedophile, there's obviously, like, mental illness there. That's not, like, a natural thing. Like, most people don't just see a young child or baby or whatever and are sexually attracted. Like, there's got to be some sort of mental illness there. So, like, how do you deal with that?
I think that there is also something in how it's kind of a societal thing too. Like, there's like societal expectations. We kind of have this normalcy of much older men being with much younger women, and the relationship may be consensual, but there is this weird, like, talking point of people who defend being attracted to teenagers as like, well, it's biological because something about mating and stuff. And usually, like, that isn't accurate because because teenage girls, especially like 15, 16-year-old girls who get pregnant, have major complications during pregnancy. So that doesn't seem like it should be an evolutionary thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm not a medical doctor and I can't speak to the fact that
Well, I think, and that's the thing is like,
pregnancy complications, but I mean, I just mentally, get the fuck off.
Mhm.
Like a 12-year-old, yeah, can have a period. Can a 12-year-old raise a child to like successful adulthood? Maybe. Like, I'm sure there's going to be some outliers, but like, no, that's not natural. The human brain doesn't even develop fully until like 25 years old.
Yeah.
You know, so
like even in my 30s, I'm not finding people like between the ages of like 18, 19, 20, 21. Like it's just there's sort of like a huge gap, not just in age, but in like experience.
Yeah, I will say
I don't even want to have a kid I don't even know if I'm ready to have a kid right now at 30, you know, like.
I will say, I don't know if this is gonna out me as a creep, but I am dating a 21-year-old. So that's casually dating, I should say. It's complicated. But yeah.
Aren't you still in high school?
Nobody needs to trim that beard up.
I got my mountain, no, I'm gonna mountain man this shit. Like that shit's
Josh
gonna go
was
down.
like bitching at me the other day about how his beard gets matted down in his mask, and I was like, well, just trim it. And he was like, he got furious with me.
I got furious, as what is my right to get furious about that statement.
I was like, well, maybe just trim your beard up. It wasn't like trim your beard right now, and then you won't have to worry about mats.
And I'm saying no, okay? My body, my choice.
Fine.
Right, I am not divorcing my. What are we talking about?
Obviously, getting your 21-year-old poon. So.
Right.
Love you, Cassie.
She's great. I miss her.
Okay, but let's.
I would like to ask that. Like, I mean, I guess like as your friend, you know, best buds. I mean, we're like the
super best friends. You, me, Andy,
like
and nobody else.
We're like the only two chicks in comedy. Chicks, love that term. In the area, but I mean, how is that? How are things like for you as far as like you're like what? Almost like a year into your transition, and you've been married for what, like 6 years?
6 years
on. Been together for like 10 years.
On May the 4th, be with you.
Right.
See, this is where it gets hard to like phrase exactly correctly, because I would never say that we had a rough patch. I would never say that our relationship was ever in danger. But there was a time at first when I'm ready to move on and live life as Meghan, and she needed a little more space to process all these changes. So I mean, it wasn't like danger. It was just kind of like we were at different spots in accepting this life change. And really, honestly, while I was dating that person, like it really, you know, I was trying to build a relationship with him, but at the same time, it was helping my relationship at home, because it was giving me the validation that I needed, jump right in and live my life. But it was also giving her like the space that she needed to think and process. And I guess if I had it to do all over again, I probably would do it again. I'd try and pick someone else. But I mean, at the time, I guess I'm happy that life is simpler now and it's just me and my wife again. Because especially with how crazy the hormones are making me, I'm glad I don't have anybody else in my life to be around. I'm rambling. Lost my train of thought.
No, that's fine.
Well, it's like obviously a super complicated issue. It's not something you just like you take or whatever. I guess I'm just like obviously proud of you for being your most authentic self, because I feel like every person struggles at times in their life with like who they're trying to project and who they actually are. So I think that anyone can like take a page from that book and be like, if we could be more vulnerable, I think it's a fucking beautiful thing. And I think it's incredible that you have such a deep connection and love with your partner that you guys can continue to work and grow together through this shit, because
Yeah, and
holy fuck, it's so much, you know?
And that was one of the questions she asked me when we were discussing, because I had never like had a serious relationship with a man before this, and I told her that, you know, it's something that I was interested in pursuing, and after watching a family member, you know, be polyamorous, I sort of understood it a little better. And I also told her that I didn't want to not be with her anymore. You know, I told her if it came down to it, she can just say no and I won't be with her. And she asked me, she goes, what if you like leave me for someone else? And I said, well, first of all, I mean, I would think that if I'm scared of our relationship breaking up over something, maybe our relationship isn't so strong, which I wasn't. And second of all, it's like she's the perfect life partner for me. You know, she tolerates me 24 hours a day. I mean, what more can I say? She's an angel. She's an absolute angel.
She is an angel. So nice. I love your wife too. I mean, I love both of you, but yeah, and you have a family. Like, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
How's that? How's Emma?
Emma's doing pretty good. She played in the sprinkler today.
Nice. So, do you think you're going to continue with a polyamorous relationship? Are you going to be monogamous for the time being, or?
I'm happy just me and Cassie. I'm not pursuing anything.
Not looking for. Okay.
Stay out of my inbox, people.
Stay out of her DMs. Well, Liberty, didn't you
I had someone DM me on my fucking bingo app.
This is an amazing story.
Well, what was really funny about it was not only did he like holla at me, and he was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Iowa." And first of all, in my bingo app, I'm in a club that is Oregon 420. Is like the name of my it's like in another sort of realm you would call it a guild. And this person just dry messaged me, and he was like, "Yo, where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm Iowa." And he's like, "No shit, I'm from Clinton, Iowa." And he's like, "Which one of the three?" It's a thumbnail. It's like literally a thumbnail, your picture on the app. And he's like, "Which one in the picture are you?" And I'm like, "I'm the one in the middle." And then he like made like 3 comments about my body. Thank you. And then and then said, "Are you single?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm taken." and then he asked me, he said, "Well, do you have any single friends?"
There are specific apps for this guy.
Long story short, Cubs fan, 1997 on Bingo Story. He's got balls. He's got balls. And also...
Is 1997 the year he was born or graduated?
I have no idea, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Speaking of my wife, I haven't been wearing my wedding ring.
Well, get it on. The ring and your wife. I'm not.
When the antidepressants let me.
I'm not a marriage counselor, but sex is good. I was actually that is like something I've been thinking about. It's like, okay, everything sucks. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are literally getting shot in the streets. Alt-right fired. Well, sheriff's son, alt-right sheriff's son, just shot a man in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, at a demonstration. He's in critical condition in the hospital, like real bullet flying. We're not just talking rubber bullets. Like, shit is weird as hell. I feel like the only good thing left in the world is sex. So let's all just have
within a good accordance to the pandemic rules. Whatever that is, like, sex right now is like a weird to navigate. Like, I'll just say.
So everybody just needs to have sex, but they can only have sex with double-ended dildos facing the opposite direction in case they sneeze or cough.
Although, if you believe that all lives matter, please use birth control and protection.
Yes.
Do not procreate.
Oh God. So
Hold on. That's weird when you say that. If you say that all lives matter.
Okay, sorry. If you say all lives matter, then you don't really believe all lives matter.
If you say all lives matter, you better not ever suck a dick to completion again.
Or get your dick sucked.
Sorry, what were you saying, Hello, the person of color on this podcast that we all interrupted?
No, that was it. I was done.
Okay.
I appreciate it, though.
But me and Liberty were at the protest yesterday, and right before, as people were gathering in the park, there was this loud ass truck with a Trump 2020 flag waving it, and it had a slogan at the bottom of the Trump 2020, "Fuck your feelings." Like if they were the ones that obviously had hurt feelings, to be honest. Like they were the ones that felt the need to like, yeah.
My dad and I were actually talking about this earlier about how, the youth of America infiltrated the Trump rally and reserved all the tickets.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And he was basically like, well, this is just another thing for Trump to, blame the internet or try and moderate the internet and for people, because he's going to say, well, if it wasn't for this fake ass shit going on the internet, our rally would have been full.
It's kids and it's K-pop fans. Like for some, like K-pop fans have become like the dark horse heroes of anti-Trump stuff. Like it's weird. Like they came out of nowhere. First it was like BTS, and we were all like, okay, fine. But then this is getting a little annoying. And then K-pop fans start to do stuff for Black Lives Matter, and then they like do this shit at Trump rally, and it's just like, oh god, oh, you're heroes. Okay, if I see a pretty Korean boy in your avatar, I'll thank you.
I don't think you're a hero for creating like 75 email accounts and reserving tickets to a Trump rally that probably wouldn't have gotten reserved in the first place. But that's just me.
I was clearly using hyperbole, Liberty. I'm not.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Come on, like you were saying, like Josh, I was really proud of you at the test. You stood up and said something, and the whole concept of what you said was we need to do more. And right. I don't think sitting behind a computer and reserving shit for a Trump rally makes any difference, because this shit is highly televised. It's all over the internet, so they don't even have to be there. They're still being brainwashed by this shit, and it is getting to the masses. Whether there's 50 people there or 100,000. Scary.
And it's just like keep that
horrifying.
Keep that in mind in your personal life, and keep that in mind when someone's here I am white knighting and virtue signaling. Keep that in mind when someone is like making a racist joke or using the N-word to get a shock laugh and like acting like it's innocent, because it's really not. Like when you make a joke on a marginalized group of people, whether it be the mentally handicapped, people of color, women, etc., 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 like there's someone else at the end of the joke that's living real like violence and persecution and oppression.
Right.
And today it's some quick one-liner, and then tomorrow it's, well, this many people commit that many % of the crimes, and it's what I told my ex, because he got on this topic a lot. I said, he's like, ooh, are you offended? And I said, you know what? I'm not offended. I'm embarrassed. Like, I know it's just you and me, and nobody can hear this conversation, but I'm embarrassed to hear someone speaking such small-minded views.
Right. it is this weird thing about offense and PC culture and stuff like that is, I mean, first off, nobody can really control what they're quote unquote offended by. So I don't understand like why when we talk about like, oh, nobody can take a joke, like why being offended is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just like the argument of, because I kept hearing this a lot, especially when I was doing comedy, especially in mid 2010s. People be like, well, comedy is supposed to offend. And it's just, no, it's not supposed to offend. You know what? The only thing comedy is supposed to be is funny.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it's supposed to be. Now, there's different
I think
kinds of
that there
comedy.
there's time and a purpose for it to be offensive.
Yes.
Like especially like speaking of this, like Aloe, like recently wrote a joke and shared it with me, and I don't know if he wants to share or not, like the concept of the joke. He probably doesn't because he wants to shave it from the stage. But like this particular joke, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's offensive, but it's definitely going to, you know, punch some people in the guts in the way that they need to be hit. You know, like I think that you can make statements with your comedy, but like obviously, ultimately, it doesn't have to be offensive. You don't have to be offensive to be funny. You can write a dumb joke and it be hilarious. You know, like I mean, I wrote a stupid joke the other day. It's so when the masks drop on your plane, are you going to refuse to wear those too? You know, I mean,
yeah.
And someone commented and said, "Oh, those masks give you oxygen when you're in a part of the atmosphere where there's no air." And I said, "Do you mean they save lives?"
Right. So,
like same fucking concept, you know, like
yeah, I saw a guy in your comments, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I clicked on him, and in his profile picture, he's wearing a Trump 2020 stocking hat. So
yeah, which is hilarious.
I didn't know they
Here's the
made
thing
those.
about it. You want to talk real business about that man, though. He has supported our local comedy scene for a long time, and he was actually at the garage show, the first garage show that me and you
I
put
think I know
on
who you mean
together
now,
at
yeah.
your place. And he was at the one that I think he also came to one that Owl performed at in your garage show.
No, he did not.
And like
No, he
generally,
wasn't there.
oh, he didn't come to that one?
No.
But I've had him come to my show many, 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 many times, and I don't think that he is like a completely terrible fucking individual, like on a face-to-face basis. But I just think that he is completely fucking brainwashed, and there are a lot of people that are like looking for a savior right now, and
yeah,
for a lot of people, Trump somehow fits. I just don't understand.
You
I
sound
don't
like
understand that.
You sound like you're reading the script from a Batman movie, but it's
I
so
feel
true.
like that's
It's
what
so
life
true.
is like right now. Like I literally feel like that is what life is like.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's just a lack of intelligence or what, but like these people really think that somehow he's gonna fix everything, like bipartisanly. Like,
well, I talked to a
it's
guy
so weird.
At work. I'm friendly with, who is very anti-government and whatnot. And he's very like anti-police. He like seems to support the protests, but he also told me like, yeah, I thought like back in 2016 Trump was just gonna shake things up, and I was wrong. Is this like, yeah, that first off, like if you want things shooken up, I don't elect a guy, a known businessman who's an asshole who fucked up all the companies that he created. Like that's the bad way of shaking things up. He is a corporate monster who's not even good at the corporate stuff. Like,
no, he's just, there's like, when I think about it, like legitimately, because like I'm a person of peace, and I I don't know. I really try really hard to like, even when I feel like someone is oppressing me, see side or find one thing I like about them.
Can't do it with Trump?
I can't find one fucking thing I like about the guy.
What about the hair?
But there's been
what about the
things
hair?
here and there.
Yeah.
I know he squashed whatever that big thing was, that trail, right when he got elected.
What?
Like,
Trump literally made it legal to kill bald eagles again. He's stripped away all sorts of natural rights. He allowed.
I'm not defending him. Don't worry.
Get murdered again. He's allowing people to get murdered again. He's calling KKK very fine people. Like there's a thing. There hasn't been one thing.
Right.
There has been one thing.
And he is not leading us through the coronavirus crisis. He's not leading us through.
I honestly just hope he gets
racial disparities. He's not even leading us to fucking bees. He's not leading us through anything.
What was really funny?
I know these murdered hornets. They're very fine murder hornets.
If I see a murder hornet, I'm probably just gonna die on the spot, you guys.
Was that your Trump?
It was my Trump, but it kind of goes into Bernie Sanders too.
Yeah, it had a little Bernie twist to it.
Had a little Bernie.
Weird.
I need to prepare.
I support the murder hornets.
I was gonna ask your Bernie Sanders impression. I love it.
They're very fine bugs.
But no, like, honestly, like, you could sleep managing this race crisis, because really, honestly, all a president would need to do is go up there and go, yeah, black people, woo! And he's not even doing that. Even the bare minimum.
He has not once said Black Lives Matter.
No,
our president
to be fair,
willing to say that.
Well, I'm also gonna say I don't think Obama did the whole handled the whole Ferguson thing good at all either. So, I don't think
he was probably too busy bombing children.
Huh?
He was probably too busy bombing children in the Middle East.
Yes, he is. He also bombed he also was responsible for a lot of attacks. Yeah.
I'm just gonna. So if anybody wants to get on my bandwagon, I'm gonna move to South America and see you later.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to choose between Biden and Trump.
Uh,
a senile old rapist, or Trump,
or a senile old rapist,
or another senile old rapist. Yeah, it's a lateral move.
Senile rapist.
It's probably going to be moderately better than
one
Trump.
Who's openly transphobic, a bigot, misogynist, and slightly racist, and one who's closeted. Which one do we pick?
No,
I don't even think Biden is that closeted about
literally
it.
Supporting segregation in the 60s closeted.
I do believe that people can grow, but like I don't give that much room to politicians. Like Aloe, moving on. You started doing comedy again. How was that experience? Like, Teehees? Teehee?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was the first place I went for the open mic was at Teehees, and then I did a comedy bar in Dubuque last Thursday.
And how those shows go? What was the vibe there for these like during quarantine, during pandemic shows? Like what precautions are they using, if any? Different.
Teehees had like 3 or 4 mics they were having you clean off once you got off stage. And if you're on deck, you can clean it again before you go up. And then comedy bar was just outside, and they had I think they had those little condom things. Yeah, little mic covers.
Wait, what on the mics?
Little condom things.
Yeah.
What do you mean condom things?
It's like a little cloth thing.
The mic.
It looks like a
You don't want to get herpes, Josh.
It's basically like it's not actually like a condom. It's like just like a little fill that goes right over the mic.
Yeah, if a condom just went on the tip of your dick and not like the whole.
Wait,
like this?
the condom is supposed to go on the whole
like
dick?
this?
Oh no!
Exactly. Yeah. But it's
It's
not
like
that
that, but
material.
it's disposable. It's not a
Yeah.
permanent.
I think I can imagine what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was the audience like?
They were good. I mean, open mic audiences.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
They also they have changed at least at Tihi's, I know that they changed the setup of the club so that everybody is at least 6 feet apart, or tables are 6 feet apart and stuff. So it's not at capacity like it was before, right?
It's about to be though. If it didn't do it this last week, then it's to, I think, because most bars are going back to all the way open.
Are they?
Well, they've been allowed to.
They're.
I mean, Kim Reynolds, she's got the tinfoil hat on.
Yeah,
Her name.
I think like right now, we should like try to support more businesses that are taking good precautions in opening up than people who are fully opened up. Like if a bar is fully open, if they don't have any limits or something like that, I think we should actively not patronize those establishments just to like.
Well, that's a personal choice too.
It is a personal choice, but I think it also sends a good message that if you want our money, you should try to make sure that we're safe.
Yeah, well, it comes back to this whole concept that, well, first of all, about half of the country doesn't even believe that the coronavirus is real. There's still a lot of people who think that it's fake. And that might be in part to Trump saying it was a hoax put on by the Democrats. Whatever. But it's an invisible thing. And like I said, when you can't see something, it's easy to just be like, well, it's not real. Until if these people don't get physically sick from it themselves, they're never going to think that it was real.
And they're
never going to think it's real.
There have been
I have people that have family members get sick from it, and they say, oh, it's a conspiracy. They didn't really have COVID. They're just presuming they had COVID. And now Trump said, well, let's just quit testing people, and then we'll have less cases.
Yeah, because
that's the logic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Well, you know what the weird thing is, like, as somebody who's agnostic, I feel like I can like throw back at them, well, you can't see God, but you believe in them. So in God. So
I was gonna make a comment like that. We don't have my fedora.
What?
I was gonna make a comment like that, but I don't have my fedora.
No, I do understand the whole like 2009 New Atheist, that's like one of those like shitty guys in like 2000 in the mid 2000s who started this whole YouTube New Atheist movement, who are now like right-wing assholes. Is alt-right assholes is like fucked up. But like I do feel like most of the people who don't believe in Corona for political reasons are also huge Christians because that's what the right is. But if they don't believe in Corona because they can't see it, well, apply that to God. Like, come on, like you can't have two different kinds of. And here's the thing: there's more. And I'm sorry, Liberty. I don't mean to like be a religion basher, but like, there's more evidence for Corona than there is God.
Oh, most definitely. Like, I mean, you can argue either way. Like, well, you can't. I can't argue with you because, like, I have personal experience and things that I'd like to believe.
And I don't want to, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm dismissing.
No, it's fine. Like, here's the thing about like me as a Christian. As a Christian, I say Christian because I'm a follower of Jesus, not any semblance of religion. And I've talked to a lot of people, but like, to me, the Bible is a man-made creation, which we all know, and there's a lot of different things. But like, I can't condone anything that they really think or believe. Like, really, the only thing I want to do in my life is be a kind person, and You know, that's really it. I can't
Yeah.
try and go off of anyone else. It doesn't offend me when people don't believe in a higher power or anything like that, because I feel like it, generally speaking, like they might just not be open enough to, or something like that. You know, there's no reason to argue it, but yeah, there's definitely obvious scientific evidence. Coronavirus, COVID, like my grandma fucking died from this shit on May 28th.
And
Unpack that shit for a second.
Yeah, it's you okay, Bilib?
Yeah.
You okay? All right. I will say, like, I'm gonna share something. And you know,
I just want to interrupt real quick. I'm sorry. And I know that because you are a Christian, Liberty, you believe that that you will be reunited with your grandmother, and I think that's a great comfort for you. So, like, as an atheist, I always try not to argue with people because I kind of feel like an asshole. Like, I feel like I'm trying to take like a huge source of comfort people have that, for the most part, among my friends who are Christians, their beliefs don't hurt anybody.
Yeah. Most of the people who are Christian.
Well, that's how I feel about it. Like, personally, it's like, this is what I believe.
I mean, if you look at most of the people who are civil rights.
Sorry, everyone.
It's okay, Liberty. Do you need a minute?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You believe you're going to see your grandmother again, and I would be happy if you were right.
Like, I mean, believe in, like, the soul. And I think that a lot of people, like, my issue with atheism and saying that there is nothing else is that I do there's a soul. And I'm also a believer in science, and science, it states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So die, and you take your last breath, where does that go? I mean, it's got to go somewhere else. So, like, whether it's God himself or herself or whatever it is, even if it's just the universe is our higher power, whatever, or whatever you want to say, I don't think that when I leave this body, my physical body, that I'm done. Right. You know, because you can't be both. You can be you can, I guess. You can be a denier of everything, but how, like, for me personally, as a person who believes that there's multiple dimensions and infinite possibility of every semblance of life that we have, and all this is just a bunch of bullshit. Like, what? 12, 20, 30, 40, maybe someday 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people will watch this podcast if we're fucking lucky. None of it makes that much of a difference, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just all bullshit. But I think that when I die, my energy is going somewhere else, and my focus on life is being a good fucking person and being kind and trying to help somebody else be happy, which is part of why I do comedy too. But that energy, the energy that I'm producing, is going somewhere when I die regardless. So, I mean, I don't have the fucking answers. No one has the answers.
No, you're right. And, well, I mean, if you look at paranormal studies, they believe, like, what ghosts are is just energy from the deceased, like any extra energy from the deceased just out there. So, like, you know, that could be part of the explanation. I don't know.
It's like people call on their ancestors and, you know, like, I shouldn't say and shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I've had people and experiences in my life that I could tell you right now, and you will all be like, oh, you're fucking insane. That did not happen. But to me, it was real, and I don't know. I can't say with 100% certainty that these events or things are real or not real, but I am definitely open. I'm definitely open to all of it, and it's like a basic law of physics that energy can't be created or destroyed. So if you die, then what happens?
I believe that when I die, I'm going to turn
man.
into rain that makes the frogs gay.
Dirt. Can you repeat that?
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, it's fine.
I believe that when I die, I'm going to turn into rain, and I'm going to make the frogs gay.
Oh, you're the one. You're the one. You're the one that's causing the deep state's conspiracy to turn the frogs gay.
I'm not buying your pills.
Well, almost every. Okay, first of all, we should know that almost every animal on the planet is have homosexual relations. So.
I firmly believe gender roles.
I
believe that men should be men and women should be women, and that's just me. I'm very conservative. That a lot of problem is that there's these men walking around in dresses, and these women not knowing their place.
And we're gonna isolate that clip.
I'm very conservative.
You'll be canceled by the end of the week.
My wife goes, I want to dye my hair blue, and I said, oh honey, can't you be happy with your body the way nature gave it to you?
Hey!
I mean, if God wanted your hair blue, he'd have made it blue.
Yes, exactly.
So I wanted to.
Well, that's the thing that people don't understand. I think about life, or that they get confused about Christianity or God, is that we still all have free will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, we all have free will, and that's one thing that one of the things that humanizes. I think is two things. One, that we have free will, and generally speaking, for most parts, we are a semblance of free in this country. The second thing is that humans in general, I feel like, experience the same emotions. You know, like everybody's experiences are so different. Like I am insanely different from every single person on this podcast right now. Yet the worst I've ever felt in my life, like the saddest, lowest I've ever felt, I feel like it's the exact same as the saddest or lowest that anyone else in this conversation has ever felt. Just like the peak of joy in your life, I feel like is the same as my peak of joy.
And I hate people that make it a fucking contest too.
It's not, and that's the other people are like, oh yeah, well I had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well you had fucking cancer. You know what? The way you
quit bragging
when you had cancer was the same way I felt when this happened to me. Right. Because like truly, that is been like a huge proponent for me in my mind, is just about that, the emotion. And this is what truly connects humans, other than music, because music, you know, everybody's is great. But like, I don't give a shit if you're 16 years old and you got dumped by your boyfriend and you think about ending your life. Like, sincerely think about that. That's the same way I felt in the moments where I thought about my life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's what I think. I think that that true emotion and the rawest form is what ultimately connects us. And I don't know how we can, I guess, like, I feel like if we could all hit the same nerve at the same time, then maybe we could get on the same page. But
it's hard. It's hard when people don't agree on things that we think should be really simple. Black Lives Matter. Yep. Like, it's a very simple statement. Like, when I think it was Eric Garner in 2016, I think that's the first time I heard that. Eric Garner got killed because of his race. And then I saw the phrase Black Lives Matter pop up, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Black lives do matter. Lives like Eric Garner matter. I don't but then people are like, well, what about white lives? And it's like, but that's this subject right here.
You're right. When you're talking about one thing, you're not talking about everything. Also, yeah, I don't know. It's just fucking bullshit. I mean, everybody knows. Everybody that's willing to learn and actually do actual research, not follow whatever phony bullshit you find. Well, thank you, Facebook, for finally.
I think that's a good bullshit, that's a good segue into the clip I wanted to show.
You mean those awful scooters?
God damn it, taking everything I say literal. I deliberately didn't say transition because I. No, keep doing that. No.
This is just gonna be the rest of the podcast.
Just
now.
you doing like the Zoom. But I wanted to share a clip from a recent Joe Rogan show with Bill Burr. And Bill Burr has his own like issues. Like he's part of that whole like macho anti-PC, comedy thing.
We have fucking issues. No one is perfect. No, I know, but I'm just saying. Like I think that people want everybody to be perfect, and like it's okay to be imperfect, but you do have to learn and grow from it, and own up to your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, play the clip. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, he was on the Joe Rogan show. Oh,
I told you it was gonna be on.
He was on the Joe Rogan show, and Joe Rogan is also a guy who. Look, I'm just gonna say, I think like my problem with Joe Rogan is that he's one of those guys who is like freshman philosophy is like, yeah, let's really think, like, but let's ask these questions, and it's like, just Jesus Christ, you're not as smart as you think you are. Sorry for Joe Rogan fans, but that's the vibe I get is like he's tries to be smart, and Joe Rogan and Bill Burr really like puts it into perspective, like why he's kind of full of shit sometimes. So here. He's like, oh, great. Fucking great. This is fantastic. God damn it.
Well, why don't you try to find that? I need to use the restroom break. I need to use the restroom break. Whatever. I am a human, beep beep.
I wanted to show this clip. Like I said, it's from the Joe Rogan show with Bill Burr as a guest. So this kind of sums up like this weird attitude about masks. And I think Bill Burr kind of puts it perfectly into perspective. So here's this. Damn it. One day I'll be good at this podcasting thing.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, John.
Do you, though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this bullshit. I'm not
Billy Corgan?
No medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up better than the CDC. All I do is I watch the news once every 2 weeks. I'm like, mask or no mask? Still mask? All right, mask. That's all I give a fuck about.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Yeah. So that's pretty much. That's pretty much it. It's just pretty much like Joe Rogan. Oh, Liberty's on. It's pretty much like that's Joe Rogan's whole thing is like, and I've heard like his whole thing is like this weird masculinity, like if you wear a mask, you're a pussy kind of thing. And that's a weird argument because here's the thing about
when did he say that? Because I listened to episode. I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
so when did he say that?
I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong. It's just maybe it's because like of like who Joe Rogan is or represents as himself. It's one of those things, but that is an attitude though. That is like an attitude that if you wear a mask to a lot of people, it's you're we can't hear you, Liberty. Liberty, you're muted.
That's the other thing before Liberty unmutes. That's the other thing is people are like, are you just going to do whatever the CDC tells you to do? Yeah, they all have a lot of scientific knowledge. They're in school for a long time to learn this stuff, and they have spent billions of dollars doing this research. So, yeah, I'm going to listen to them before you, Karen.
Well, and that's like I saw somebody close to me. I think I talked about this, but I saw somebody close to me on Facebook put up like repost a meme saying like if they said that getting into a train car like cattle would keep them from getting corona, they would do it. And honestly, the opposite is true. Look at what's going on. Hardly anybody's wearing a mask out. Like That's the thing, is it's like you tell people this, bullshit that corona isn't real, and that like because it's more comfortable for them, they're gonna believe it. Like, not the thing like that's gonna be hard for us all to get through. So
there's other things. You gotta remember, there's other things you could besides wearing a mask that can protect you from getting and passing on corona. One thing I do is I stay away from people for the most part. I try to, at least, and also if I feel sick, I don't go around people. That's something you can do. You can also take different supplements, and you can also exercise more, sweat things out, sit in the sauna. There's lots of things you can besides just wearing a mask.
And I hold my cough orgies at a different location.
With UV technology.
What does a cough orgy entail? Is that coughing into everybody's butt?
No, my dad my dad was he keeps sending me. Oh my gosh, great. He keeps sending me like coronavirus stuff, and I just started saying, it's okay, Dad, I'm taking precautions, I'm not going to any cough orgies.
Cough orgies.
I mean,
cough orgies is the best orgy.
And that's what open mics basically are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had sex and just coughing into each other's mouth? Like, that's the most erotic thing you can do.
Yeah, well, I mean, generally when I'm having sex with someone, there's some, lip action, so.
Not enough. Not kinky enough. You have to be licking like right onto their eyeball. Like, you have to get right in there. You have to.
Shut up. That's so inaccurate. Like, now people are going to be like, oh, the Fancy Werewolf podcast. They spread a bunch of false information.
Does anybody watch this yet? I don't know.
We got none. We got no buds. We have one sponsor and no listeners.
Can you censor things, Josh?
My dad let me know.
Yeah, if you want me to.
Okay. Yeah, I just hear like a long beat, but the closest I got was one time I shot cum up
okay,
my
I'm just gonna
nose.
for editing purposes, start here, Josh. Edit this out.
The closest I got to.
Whenever we reference it, we'll call it a Meghan Roth. We'll call it a Meghan Roth. Only we know what that means. And
you're actually our first guest.
They're gonna think it's cocaine now.
Can you cut that out too? Can you just cut that out of the podcast?
Cut out the what? The
here. Nope. Let me tell you.
Nope. I'm gonna.
Real deep
I wanted to reference it to you guys as my friends, not to the world at large.
Right. The world writ large. Yes.
You know what? Fuck all the haters. Like.
This was just between us.
It
is between us.
We had just been talking about how Liberty's dad is the only one who watches, so it's squares and one more square that you can't see.
You left me a note, and this is what it says. He's also our sponsor. He's the listener and our feature sponsor.
Hi, Liberty's dad.
He says, going out, probably won't be back before the fireworks show. Sorry. So who's going to tell me why my dad's getting more action than me?
I mean, like, you got the bingo guy.
Thank you.
Tell your dad to be careful, because some of those girls can.
Jesus Christ.
I do. I have the bingo guy. You know what? I'm going to fucking message him tomorrow and be like, listen. I wasn't quite desperate before, but now that I know that my dad is getting more pussy than me, I have to resort to having some men again, and it's you, Cubs fan 1997.
Can I take one more censorship edit?
How much of this do I have to cut out?
What happened was...
Okay, so I think that we probably should be wrapping this up right now. We should have wrapped this up like 15 minutes ago, but I
don't know.
I love it.
It's been a while.
Even the parts like you as a listener will never know fully. Megan, thank you for being on. Do you have anything to promote or anywhere people can find your stuff?
I'm gonna probably set up. When do you put this up?
Probably put this up Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. I'll send you a link. I'll have to probably set up a new channel.
Okay.
But for now, you can link to my old channel.
I don't think we should link to your old channel. And also, I think that we should not just be like, okay, now we got to do this. We have to like have some sort of semblance of it and still cut this out and be like, hey, we're starting.
Yeah, it can't just be.
It
can't just be racial relations. And that's our time.
Oh no, I'm gonna put in several like weird, like at certain points I'm gonna like gee, and then like that thing that networks use when they have technical difficulty. I'm gonna put that into parts where that's just for us.
Perfect.
It's just for all of us. That's what this podcast special is that a lot of it is just for us.
Not really. This is the first time just like recorded straight to finish and really cut anything out other than technical difficulties. So
yeah.
normal
first episode we went 10-15 minutes without me noticing that I didn't press record.
Yeah, that was cute. I would have.
But yeah, just send me a link and I'll put down your new account if you get one set up.
You'll probably have to edit the link because it's not going to be up by Wednesday. I have to finish out my job first.
Sure. Okay. We'll do that. Yeah. At the very least, I'll.
So we can go into promoting the current channel and then in the future switch link. That's a good idea. Yeah. But we have to
So just link down here.
You know what? I think initially I'm going to link to that cream cheese animation, and then once you give me the new one, I'll
re-upload it and fix the name, and then you can change the link in the description right here, everybody.
Right.
Am I pointing to someone's face, or am I pointing to the link?
Since it's recording on my computer, you're pointing at Liberty. It's like poking Liberty.
My computer, I'm on
Poke Liberty.
top of
Poke Liberty. Poker. Yeah, there you go. Liberty, Al, do you have anything you want to say before we take off? Either one? No, okay.
Beat you all, bitches.
I
got nothing.
Beat you all? You know
that means hello,
right? What are you gonna
do? Chihuahua means hello.
You gonna be
he's just sort of a whole new one.
You gonna be doing any other shows coming up, Aloe? Any mics?
Like the Octopus in July? Are you gonna come?
Oh, they're opening up the Octopus in July.
Funny. Okay, that's what we should end on. And here's the thing. We're talking about the reopening and everything regulations, and like Owl said, I'm a proponent of this too. I don't think that we should be radically fearful of COVID or coronavirus, but I think we all need to do our due diligence to protect ourselves. And with some, we stay away from people in, 6 feet. If you're sick, you're sick. You stay the fuck home.
Bring a mask.
If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If the mics in the shows, they're sanitizing mics, keeping the crowd back from you. They are doing. They're trying.
And they have plenty of different mics.
You don't have to do anything that you're not comfortable with, but protect yourself and protect other people, because it isn't. I do think that masks saves lives, and when you're in this public setting where you can't socially distance yourself, but if you can socially distance yourself and you're washing your hands and et cetera, you're fine. Yep. And no, some people will not go. Like some open mics are requiring people wear masks and things like that. Some people will not do that. I think that a mask does and will detract from comedy in a huge way, because I feel like your facial expression is a lot of the act. And So I mean, I just personally wish everyone the best of luck, and not even luck. I shouldn't say luck, but take care of yourselves, and also being so judgmental in some semblance of a way, because fuck it. If our government and Trump says we're just going to stop testing people, then we have no cases, how can you expect anyone to believe an invisible enemy is a real enemy?
Right.
But I am going to go to the Octopus Comedy Open Mic. I don't know if I'm going to perform, but I will be there. And I know Meghan is going to perform there, and I cannot wait for people to be back on that stage because I love that fucking room.
Yes.
Well,
I know Al loves that room. I don't think, he said that he won't participate probably. Am I correct, Al?
Yeah, not with a mask on. I can't do it.
Yeah. And, I mean, there's there's a spectrum, so.
Right. But Megan, is this like going to be the first time you're doing stand-up in a long time, or is this going to be another animation thing?
Yeah, it's going to be the first time I'm. Well, you know what? You never know. I don't have a job on Thursday, and it's almost a whole month. So you never know. Come by and see.
All right.
Yeah, I think when's it going to be? July 18th? Is that the date?
I think so. The third Wednesday of the month.
Oh, look at it. But
I might take the day off just to go to that.
Hey,
you should just quit your job so you can make this.
It's the 15th of July.
All right.
And I don't think I'm going to perform, but I think that I will be there in support a room that has done so fucking much for me and for Megan and for Pfizer and Aloe. It's one of his favorite rooms in the state. So, I mean, it is what it is.
And Aloe, are you going to be performing at any other open mics coming up? I don't know if he answered.
Yeah, all I really got right now because all I really have right now because Penguins isn't probably opening up for at least another month or maybe longer. Maybe I don't really know.
Well, because that's a very small room.
And Comedy Bar too are both on Thursday nights, which is
so I can only go either Des Moines or Dubuque. Those are my options.
All right.
Unless something happens here on Wednesdays, who knows?
So I'm gonna say, and we're gonna do the business of the week, and I think it's probably appropriate for Pride that we shout out Kings and Queens, the gay bar in Waterloo. I know before Corona they had a lot of drag shows. I don't know if they're open right now, but just think,
I don't think they're doing drag shows, but they're open.
Right.
I'll just say every fucking bar in Iowa is open. Like no bar is still closed.
True. So, but yeah, Kings and Queens, a big part of the LGBTQ scene in this town. So, all right. So there's that. Thank you all for listening. Thank you again, Megan, for being on the show. I'm Josh.
And for being yourself. Yep. Love you.
So, for the Fancy Werewolf Lounge, I'm Josh Pfizer.
I'm Liberty Bell.
Thank
you, everybody. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Good night.